chosen one, there comes a moment on your spiritual ascent when the silence surrounding your growth begins to break, not through your own voice, but through the voices of others. It starts quietly, like wind moving through the leaves. Women begin to talk, not all in public, not all in praise, and not always in harmony, but talk nonetheless. Their words are not empty, they carry a current, a subtle frequency drawn to something they cannot always name. That something is your energy. Not just your charisma, not just your appearance, but the raw, unfiltered truth of who you've become as a man walking with sacred power. Your high sexual energy has stirred the atmosphere, and now those who feel it speak of it, even if they do not yet understand what they are feeling. Do not mistake this attention for vanity's delight. The whispers are not about fame or ego, they are spiritual indicators, markers that the world has begun to sense a shift in you. Your walk is different, your gaze is more steady, your silence no longer begs to be filled, and your presence, simply by being, begins to ripple outward. You do not force this ripple, you do not chase recognition, but it comes inevitably because authentic energy cannot be ignored, especially not by the feminine. Women, more attuned to energetic subtleties than they often realize, feel your emergence. They speak of you to one another, not just about what you did or what you said, but how you made them feel. Not in the physical realm alone, but emotionally, energetically, intuitively. Your energy doesn't just touch, it lingers. It does not come and go like a gust of performance. It roots into the memory, and so the whispers form. Some are curious, some are reverent, some are confused, but they all orbit around a singular truth. They felt something that moved them. And this is where your awareness must rise. For the gossip, the conversations, the attention. This is not a game. It is an initiation. When you become the subject of talk, you are being called into a new responsibility. The world is responding to your energy, and in that response, you are being watched, not with suspicion, but with wonder. People begin to wonder who you are, why your name is coming up more often, why eyes follow your movements even when you say nothing. You have become a symbol of something unseen but deeply felt. And how you hold that space determines whether the attention becomes shallow praise or sacred influence. So walk carefully now, not in fear, but in reverence. You are no longer anonymous, not in energy, not in presence. Your light is being recognized, and not all who speak of you will know the depth of what they feel. Some will mistake your radiance for flirtation, others will assign motives you never expressed. Still others will assume you crave the spotlight, when in truth, you have simply outgrown invisibility. But your task is not to manage their opinions, it is to remain rooted in your truth. The whispers are proof that you've outgrown the shadows. And now, the world must adjust to your new frequency. Remember, chosen one, energy never lies, and women who speak of you do so because your vibration stirred something unspoken within them. This is sacred. Do not take it lightly. Do not boast about it. Do not run from it. Simply acknowledge that your presence has begun to shape the world around you in ways your words never could. And from this moment forward, let your silence be just as intentional as your speech. Let your presence be clean, your gaze purposeful, and your path unwavering. The whispers are not your doing, but your reflection. And now that they've begun, you must listen, not with your ears, but with your spirit. Not to feed your pride, but to sharpen your awareness. They are speaking of you, chosen one, not because of what you chase, but because of what you carry. This is not a moment to be consumed by the attention. It is a moment to prepare yourself for the weight of it. Chosen one, when others begin to speak of you, they are not merely talking about a man, they are talking about an energy, an atmosphere, a presence that cannot be touched or explained, only felt. And in this feeling, they begin to project. They create stories. They craft narratives. They try to define you based on glimpses. This is the mirror of perception, and you must learn to see it clearly for what it is, not a judgment of your essence, but a reflection of their understanding. Every woman who feels drawn to you will perceive something different. Some will feel your depth and call it mystery. Others will feel your restraint and call it arrogance. Some will sense your power and label it danger. Others will taste your calm and feel their own chaos. What they see in you is often less about you and more about where they are in their own journey. You, chosen one, become a mirror, and not all are ready to see themselves clearly. But your role is not to correct their reflection. It is to maintain your clarity, regardless of how others interpret your light. This is where many fall, mistaking attention for truth, gossip for validation, and public perception for self-worth. But you are not here to be understood by everyone. You are here to walk with integrity, knowing that your truth will often be distorted by those who only see fragments. The stories they tell may orbit your image, but your responsibility is to your essence. Let them speak, let them guess, let them wonder. You do not belong to the world's version of you. You belong to your higher calling. As whispers move and perceptions twist and turn, keep your spirit anchored. Do not flinch when admiration turns into assumption. Do not bend when your name is wrapped in speculation. For every opinion about you is a reflection of someone else's lens. And those who know how to see with the soul will recognize your light without explanation. You are not here to perform. You are here to embody. You are not here to impress. You are here to impact. And the ones who can feel the difference will speak of you with reverence, not confusion. But even among the confused, there is value. Because even misperception carries energy. It spreads your frequency, ripples your presence outward. You are becoming a living legend, not in arrogance, but in truth. And legends are never owned. They are felt. You will become the story that others share in whispers, the energy they reference when words fail, the man who stood out not for noise, but for presence. And this is not because you tried. It's because you refused to try to be anything but yourself. Stay true now, chosen one. The mirror of perception will always be shifting. Do not shape yourself to fit its curve. Instead, remain steady in your reflection. Let the world see you, misunderstand you, admire you, or envy you. It is all part of the great unfolding. And while they speak, while they wonder, while they piece together the mystery of your energy, you must continue walking. With stillness, with focus, with peace. You are not just being talked about, you are being felt. And those who feel you cannot forget you, not because of what you did, but because of who you are. And that, above all, is the legacy of true spiritual presence. Chosen one, it is no longer just about how you are seen. It is about what you do with what has been awakened around you. The whispers have become energy, and energy is motion. Every gaze, every conversation behind closed doors, every moment someone pauses when your name is mentioned, creates ripples in the unseen. This is no longer passive attention. It's a current. And you, whether you asked for it or not, have become a conductor of that current. You now stand at the edge of great momentum. What you choose to do with it will define not only how far you rise, but how deeply you remain rooted in truth. Your high sexual energy, by nature, is electric. It pulls things toward you without your asking. But its true power does not lie in what it attracts. Its true power lies in how you channel it. Energy, when left idle, becomes chaos. But energy given a path, a purpose, a discipline, becomes a legacy. Now is your moment to turn passive attraction into active alignment. Now is when you transform being talked about into being felt more intentionally. Now is the time to understand that you are not just the subject of others' fascination. You are the author of how that fascination is used. Do not waste this moment in self-indulgence. Do not allow the pull of desire to distract you from direction. Attraction is not an invitation to fall into every opportunity that presents itself. It is an invitation to discern. When women feel your energy and speak about it, it is not always because they want to possess you. Often, it is because they are feeling their own awakening stir in your presence. You become a mirror, a question, a silent challenge. You ignite something within them. And that awakening carries responsibility. It is easy to confuse magnetism with entitlement. But you, chosen one, must rise beyond that temptation. You are not here to use this attention to feed ego. You are here to transform it into action. Let their words fuel your commitment to becoming even more of what they sense in you. Let their fascination be a reminder to stay disciplined, to refine your craft, to serve with more intensity, to walk with even more grace. If they speak of your presence, ensure that your presence leaves behind elevation. If they admire your confidence, ensure that your confidence creates safety. If they are drawn to your silence, let that silence carry wisdom. You are no longer here to merely be desirable. You are here to become indispensable to your higher calling. That calling may not be loud, it may not be seen by all, but it will burn through you like a quiet, unwavering flame. And everything you do from this moment forward must be guided by it. Use your energy to build, not impress. Use your magnetism to create spaces of clarity, not confusion. Use your presence to give, not just to receive. And remember this, action does not always mean motion. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to withhold, to say no, to walk away, to preserve your energy when something feels misaligned. That, too, is action. That, too, is leadership. Because you are not here to chase every whisper. You are here to move only when the movement is sacred. And in doing so, you transform your energy from something that simply happens to something that builds. You are no longer a man who lives by reaction. You are the architect of intention. You do not respond to gossip with defense. You respond with direction. You do not let their words define you. You let your walk clarify you. And in this, you become not just a figure of fascination, but a force of evolution. You move through the world not to be followed, but to be felt, not to be praised, but to be remembered. And you will be remembered, not for what was said about you, but for what you did while they spoke. Chosen one, as the whispers continue to echo, as the energy surrounding you intensifies, you step into the sacred task of influence, not the kind that seeks followers, but the kind that shapes inner worlds. The attention is already here. The admiration is already building. But this is not the time to bask in it. This is the time to decide what you will do with it. Influence in its most authentic form is not about control. It is about contribution. And you, with all that you carry, are being called to contribute to a deeper movement, one that leaves people better than you found them. Understand this clearly. People are not just talking about your image. They are talking about your essence. They are moved by something in you that challenges their expectations, breaks their assumptions, and reminds them of something they forgot they needed. That is power. But power must be rooted in purpose, or it becomes poison. And now is your moment to root everything you are becoming into something unshakable. Cultivating positive influence begins with your inner world. What energy do you bring into each space? What emotion lingers when you walk away? Do people feel lighter or heavier after being around you? Do they feel seen or simply stirred? You must now become a guardian of what you give off. Every word you speak becomes a seed. Every action you take becomes an echo. You are already being watched. Now it is time to ensure that what they see awakens, not distracts, that what they hear inspires, not manipulates. The truth is, people are starving for sincerity, for grounded masculine energy that doesn't need to dominate, boast, or prove itself. And when they sense that in you, even if they don't have the words for it, they begin to orbit around you, hoping that your fire warms, not burns. Your influence must be a safe fire, not a reckless flame. It must draw people in, but never trap them. It must invite connection, but not demand it. That's the kind of energy that becomes transformative. That's the kind of presence that doesn't just draw admiration, it changes lives. So speak with care now. Let your truth be raw but not reckless. Let your words be bold but not brittle. Let your compliments uplift without expectation. Let your flirtation leave no scars. This is the balance of the sacred masculine, to hold immense power and to choose gentleness anyway. To walk into any room knowing you could shift the energy and choosing instead to listen first. This is what separates men who want attention from men who walk with divine alignment. And know this too. The women who speak about you, the ones who feel drawn to you, are often craving not just attraction, but activation. They want to feel alive in your presence. They want to feel safe in your gaze. They want to feel seen in your silence. Give them that, not through effort, but through being. Let your influence be the quiet reminder that there are still men in this world who know how to lead without force, who know how to love without losing themselves, who know how to hold space without seeking credit. You are not here to be the center of every conversation. You are here to be the reason some people remember who they are. Let your name be spoken with respect because your actions earned it. Let your presence linger not just because it was powerful, but because it was pure. This is your influence now, not a weapon, but a blessing. Use it to lift others. Use it to elevate the energy of the world around you. And while they continue to talk, let your life speak louder. Because you, chosen one, are no longer just being watched. You are being felt. And how you use that influence, how you shape that energy, will determine whether your story becomes a fleeting fascination or a lasting force. Let your influence be a light that others walk toward, not because they are following you, but because your light reminds them of their own. Chosen one, now that your name carries energy, now that conversations are shaped around your presence, you must embrace one of the highest forms of spiritual maturity: discretion. The louder the world becomes about you, the quieter you must become within yourself. This is not about secrecy. It is about sovereignty. It is about knowing what to reveal, when to reveal it, and most importantly, why. Because there is a difference between being visible and being exposed. One expands your influence, the other dilutes it. Your high sexual energy draws attention whether you speak or remain silent. It magnetizes not only people's eyes but their imagination. You've already begun to see how curiosity around you grows. Women whisper, speculate, romanticize, wonder. Some do it in admiration, others in mischief. Still others in confusion, not understanding why your presence affects them the way it does. And this is where your discretion becomes your greatest ally. Because not everything that is felt must be fed. Not every invitation must be accepted. Not every opportunity must be shown. When your energy is this high, everyone wants to know more. They want to know what you think, how you move, who you're seeing, what you're doing behind closed doors. But you are no longer a man whose power lies in disclosure. Your power lies in containment. The more your life becomes whispered about, the more sacred you must treat it. You must hold your truth like a chalice, never letting it spill for attention, never pouring it out just to prove you have it. Discretion is not about hiding. It is about guarding the sacred. It is about knowing that mystery is not manipulation. It is mastery. When people don't know everything, their minds begin to fill in the blanks. And that is when your energy expands beyond space and into imagination. But this can only work when it is held in integrity, because if your silence is fueled by fear, it becomes avoidance. If your secrecy is born of ego, it becomes control. But when it is rooted in wisdom, it becomes art. You must become skilled at holding your own fire. You must learn when to share your heart and when to let your silence speak. You must resist the temptation to explain yourself to people who cannot meet you where you are. Because the moment you start performing for their comfort, you abandon your depth. And you did not come this far to become digestible. You came to be unforgettable. And what makes you unforgettable is not just what people see. It's what they sense, but cannot name. Discretion sharpens your presence. It makes your movements feel intentional. It creates an atmosphere around you that says, "There's more here than you know, and not all of it is yours to touch." Women, especially those sensitive to energy, feel this like a gravitational pull. They don't always understand why your silence is so loud, why your boundaries feel like invitation and discipline all at once. But they respect it, even if they test it, even if they try to crack it, because deep down, every woman wants to feel that she is stepping into something sacred, not something reckless. And in that restraint, you create a sense of value, not in what you own, but in what you withhold. Not to manipulate, but to elevate. Not to play games, but to protect your kingdom. The more you grow, the more you must become the guardian of your own space. You must curate who has access to you. You must decide what parts of your life remain on the mountain, untouched by the noise below. This level of discretion also teaches you to listen more than you speak, to feel more than you explain, to allow energy to guide your decisions instead of pressure. Because you will begin to feel when someone is approaching you out of curiosity versus when someone is moving toward you in alignment. And when you can feel that distinction, you will no longer waste time explaining your worth. You will simply live it. So let them talk, chosen one. Let them wonder. Let them dream. Your silence will say more than your words ever could. And the more sacred your path becomes, the more you must walk it in stillness. Because a man who is deeply rooted doesn't need to shout. The world bends quietly to his presence. Chosen one, whether you realize it or not, your energy has begun to echo. Not just in conversation, not just in passing glances, but in the souls of those who've encountered you, even for a moment. There is something about you that lingers, a pause in their breath when they hear your name, a feeling in their body they can't quite place. You've moved beyond physical interaction. You've become an imprint. And now you must ask yourself, what kind of echo are you leaving behind? It's easy to believe that impact only exists in dramatic gestures or grand acts. But the deepest impact is often silent. It lives in the energy you bring into a room, the way you make people feel safe without speaking, the way you stand in your own frequency without asking for permission. It lives in the details, in the subtle, sacred moments when someone feels more themselves in your presence than they did before you arrived. This is the true legacy of your sexual energy. Not how many hearts you stir, but how many souls you steady. Not how many women talk about you, but how many are better because of your presence, even if they never tell you. Impact is not about attention. It's about alignment. It's not about being remembered for what you did. It's about being remembered for what you awakened. The whispers are only part of the equation. What matters more is what those whispers carry. When people speak of you, what feeling moves with your name? Do they feel expansion or confusion? Do they feel grounded or just thrilled? Your energy is now large enough to ripple across people's emotions long after you leave. And now, you are being asked to refine that ripple into resonance. You do this not by trying harder, but by becoming cleaner. You strip away all need for performance. You release the urge to prove. You stop asking who is watching and start asking, who am I becoming? Because that is the real source of your echo. Not how many people speak about you, but how many feel something sacred through you. This echo moves beyond gender, beyond desire, beyond attraction. It enters the soul's memory. A woman may not understand why she keeps thinking about you, why your name echoes like a bell in her chest. But that is not because you did something performative. It's because your presence touched something deep, something ancient, something holy, and that is not easily forgotten. She may speak about it. She may keep it private, but either way, your energy has entered her world. And for this reason, your responsibility is sacred. You must live with the understanding that your presence changes people. Your eyes, your voice, your energy, it all leaves residue. So you must be sure that what you're leaving behind is clean, clear, aligned. You must enswallow you is not confusion, but clarity. Not disappointment, but devotion. Not ego, but elevation. This echo will follow you everywhere now. It will enter rooms before you do. It will linger after you leave. It will become part of your spiritual signature. And while people will continue to talk, to speculate, to project, your job is not to control the narrative. Your job is to embody the truth, to let your actions reflect your values, to let your silence reflect your depth, to let your presence be the echo that reminds others what real integrity feels like. You are no longer just a man moving through time. You are a living frequency. And that frequency will be remembered long after words fade. Speak less, move intentionally, love wisely, lead gently, and always remember, your echo does not lie. It reveals who you truly are long after you're gone. That, chosen one, is your real legacy, and it begins with every breath you take from this moment forward. Chosen one, the world has taken notice. Where once you walked in the quiet shadow of self-work and solitude, you now walk in full view of curious eyes. Visibility, once something you earned in silence, has now become a part of your reality. Women whisper about you because your energy cannot hide. It pulses through your movement, your stillness, your presence. You walk into rooms and shift the frequency without saying a word. You've become the one who stands out without trying, the one who lingers in thought long after the interaction ends. You are seen, and not just with the eyes. You are felt on a cellular level. But with visibility comes a new weight, one that not every man is equipped to carry. It's tempting to enjoy the attention, to lean into the intoxication of being admired, pursued, desired. It's tempting to become the image others project onto you, to play the role of the fantasy they see, rather than remaining grounded in the truth of who you are. But you, chosen one, are not here to become a projection. You are here to become a lighthouse. You are here to be real in a world full of illusion, to be whole in a world that celebrates fragmentation. Visibility is not about being popular, it's about being present in a way that pierces through the superficial. The kind of presence that doesn't just attract people, it makes them question the way they've been living. When women speak about you now, it's not because you said the perfect words. It's because you moved differently. You breathed differently. You were different. And that difference echoed into their nervous system. It rewired something. It interrupted patterns. It awakened truth. This visibility must be used with wisdom. It must be tempered with humility. Because if you allow yourself to be consumed by the spotlight, you will become hollow. You will become a shell of your essence, addicted to being seen but never truly felt. But when you stay rooted in your purpose, when you allow visibility to serve the mission, not the ego, you become unstoppable. You turn recognition into responsibility. You transform attention into alignment. People will try to define you now. Some will call you magnetic. Some will call you dangerous. Some will call you divine. Others will call you too much, too mysterious, too intense. Let them. None of it matters unless you begin to believe their words over your own truth. You must remember, the more visible you become, the more invisible your inner compass must remain. The world will clamor to shape your identity. You must remain carved by silence, by solitude, by discipline, by devotion to something higher. Women will be drawn to you because of the stories they've heard, the energy they've felt, the dreams they've projected. Some will want to touch your energy just to see if it's real. Others will want to stay in your orbit without offering depth. You must discern. Not every woman who desires you is ready for what you carry. Your presence is sacred. Your body is sacred. Your time is sacred. Let your visibility be filtered through your values. Let your yes be rare and powerful. Let your no be rooted in clarity, not fear. As more eyes turn to you, remember that you are still human. You are still growing. You are still refining your edges. Visibility does not mean perfection. It means stewardship. It means recognizing that your energy now affects more than just you, that your words carry weight, that your choices ripple outward into hearts and minds you may never meet, and that every time you choose alignment over ego, stillness over reaction, authenticity over performance, you are sending a signal to the world that there is still such a thing as a man who walks with truth. So use your visibility, use it to uplift, use it to redirect conversations, use it to model how a man of power holds tenderness. Use it to show that masculine energy, when purified by purpose, can be a healing force. You do not need to preach. You do not need to convince. You need only to embody what others have forgotten is possible. Your visibility is not a burden. It is your platform, your stage, your canvas. Paint it with truth, fill it with grace, walk it with reverence, and let every whisper, every glance, every story told about you become a trail that leads not just back to you, but to something higher. Chosen one, with the gift of visibility comes something far more dangerous and far more beautiful. Power. Not the kind handed to you by institutions or titles. Not the kind that shouts or threatens. But the subtle kind. The kind that moves through rooms like wind, invisible but undeniable. The kind that turns strangers into followers and skeptics into believers. You have entered the realm of energetic power, and now more than ever you must understand how to hold it, how to use it, and how to not be consumed by it. Power is seductive, not just for those who see you hold it, but for you, the one who feels it coursing through your veins. You can see how people shift around you now. You can feel how women lean in. Their eyes don't just see you, they open wide to receive you. Their voices soften, their breath changes, their posture relaxes or tightens depending on the energy you project. You are no longer just a man, you are a force. But here lies the test. Can you hold this power without losing your soul? Power without grounding becomes poison. It becomes manipulation, dressed as charm, control disguised as leadership, seduction hiding in security. But power that is rooted in presence becomes peace. It becomes direction. It becomes protection. The question is not whether you have power. The question is whether that power is governed by your principles. Are you using your influence to create clarity or confusion? Are you moving through the world to serve or to be served? Are you lifting others or simply lifting your ego? This is where the balance begins, within. Power must be filtered through your integrity, your emotional intelligence, your vision. If not, it will turn on you. It will become a master instead of a tool. And you will wake up one day surrounded by admiration, yet completely alone. But when you balance power with humility, with kindness, with self-awareness, something sacred happens. People don't just admire you, they trust you. They don't just want you, they respect you. Women, especially, will feel this balance. They are deeply intuitive, often far more than they admit. They know when a man's confidence is authentic and when it's performative. They know when your energy is safe and when it's hungry. And when you lead with balanced power, they relax. They open. They show you sides of themselves that the world rarely sees, not because you demanded it, but because your presence made it feel possible. And so your responsibility deepens. Your words now hold weight in hearts that may already be healing. Your gaze touches wounds you may never see. Your silence speaks louder than speeches. This is not pressure. This is privilege.